Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got a question here that is kind of interesting that I thought I'm probably going to read most of this email. It's fairly long, but this is a unique situation. I think that I can offer some good advice about getting your foot in the door, like applying for jobs. Because this is difficult, especially when you have all the qualifications, you've done all the right things, and you still can't get interviews or you still can't get a job. And I know some of you have expressed variations of having this problem. And some of you have gone and said, oh, it's age discrimination. You could watch my video on what happens to older developers, or how should an older developer market themselves? And I don't buy that. I don't think it's age discrimination. Some of you just said, people don't like me because I'm blank, whatever it is, and you make excuses for yourself. I feel like you should take ownership. If you want a good book about taking ownership, there's a chapter in there about in this book called 10X. 10X Rule, right? By Grant Cardone. I highly recommend this book. Go check it out. I did a review on it as well, but what you can search for on this channel. But he talks about this idea of taking responsibility for everything in your life. Everything. I'm talking about when someone rear-ends you, taking responsibility. And remember, it's a good model to look at things at. So anyway, let's get into the question here. He says, hi John, recently came across your channel and your blog. Most notably, I've seen some of your videos about online education and being self-taught. I first want to thank you for all your fantastic free content. It has been very informative and has really helped me out in a variety of ways. Well, thank you, Anthony. My question is, how do you go about getting your foot in the door with little experience? The question has been asked before, but the context is a little different for me. I've reached out to other people in the field, but have never gotten any responses. For some background, I am a self-taught developer, and I've been programming for a little over 2 years now. About a year and a half in, I decided to enroll in Udacity. See, I said it right. I didn't say Udacity. I said Udacity, nano degree for Android development, despite their prerequisite being 2 years of Java. I decided to enroll anyway, and I graduated the course in early 2016 with almost every project exceeding specifications. Good job. This is awesome. I'm also now a Udacity code reviewer. I keep wanting to say Udacity, and a preferred candidate. As a result, I have projects to show that are on GitHub and are constantly being exposed to other people's code as I grade projects for the Android course. That's really cool. Additionally, I have small mobile application business and have published applications to the Play Store. Another thing that I've talked about doing, right, guys? So he's done all this stuff. Despite all this, I can never seem to get interviews. I've tried applying to a multitude of different companies for entry-level Java or Android developer roles in which I met all of the requirements and felt confident with. I feel like I have a missing link somewhere and just cannot seem to figure out what it is to get my foot in the door to an interview or even a phone screen. My goal is to land an Android or Java developer role. And he gives the Udacity profile here. I don't know if he wants to share it with everyone on video. I really have a strong drive and desire to learn, and I hope to soon be able to support myself by doing something I truly have passion for. Thank you very much for your time. Best regards, Anthony. So this is a long email, but I felt like it's worth reading because this is a unique situation, but not so unique. What I mean is, Anthony, you've done all the right things. You've done pretty much most of the things that I recommend doing. So now what can you do? Why isn't this working? Why aren't you getting interviews? I did what you said, John. What do I do now? Right? And let's talk about some of the things that Anthony's done right. First of all, he's self-taught, and he went through the Udacity program, and he exceeded expectations on the projects, right? He went above and beyond. He said, I'm going to be the best person who took this course, right? Which is something I recommend. You got to be at the top of the class. Let's make sure that you are. And he did this, it sounds like. He's also become a code reviewer, so he's actually looking at other people's work. He's contributed to that platform. And then he's got projects in GitHub, so he has actual demonstratable code. He has started his own company and published apps to the Play Store. So what is going on here? What is wrong? Now, I don't know, Anthony. I don't know all of the stuff that you've done and what your resume looks like, for example. So I'm going to sort of shoot in the dark here and give you some ideas and some places that you can look to figure out what's going on wrong here. So first of all, if you're applying for jobs and you have this experience that you have and you're not getting even a phone screen or any kind of response from this, it tells me that probably you are not applying for the jobs specifically enough and picking the specific jobs, right? So you might need to niche down one more level and see, not just be an Android developer, right, but figure out what kind of Android developer, what is the kind of lower level specialty, where do you have expertise, where do you excel, and can you look for jobs that are looking specifically for that skill set. I don't know what it is for you, but pick something out. You know the Android space probably better than I do. I've done some Android apps and stuff, but still I haven't kept up on it. But so somewhere where you can figure out a smaller niche within there. Some of you who want to leave some comments and give them some ideas, go ahead. But the point is, you pick that smaller niche out. I know it exists. It's just going to take some brainstorming to figure it out. Then you're going to try to make yourself more of an expert in that. Let's get a blog up if you don't have one, right? Not just a GitHub profile, write some posts that are going to show that expertise. If you want to know about branding, of course, I have my How to Market Yourself as a Software Developer course. You can check that out. Not absolutely required, but if you're interested more in that. But you need to do something in the marketing and branding of yourself space, so the opportunities will come to you for a specific specialty. That's going to help you very much, right? Now, when you're applying for these jobs, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're applying for jobs the best possible, right? We don't want to do a huge net and just like apply for 500 jobs. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we're applying for the most relevant jobs where we're most likely to match up, and then we want to modify our resume. We want to modify and customize the resume and the cover letter to specifically match that job as best as possible, and to highlight specifically the skills, experience, expertise that you have that will make you a good fit for that job. You want to make every single job that you apply for be like a 2-hour ordeal where you are really working hard to get that job, like it's the only job you're applying for. That's going to yield a lot more benefits. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to also cast a wide net. We're going to apply for a lot of jobs. So maybe you have a goal of doing 5 jobs a day like this, right? That are each going to take maybe a couple hours, right? If you're unemployed totally, or maybe you're going to get a little faster at this. But anyway, you got to be willing to put in that time, and it's going to take some time. Think about this as a strategy that you're going to employ. Now, along with that, the resume itself, if you haven't gotten your resume professionally written or reviewed, you should definitely do that. I talk about this a lot. I think I've got a video on like the best piece of important thing for your career, which I talk about getting your resume written professionally, and which is really important, I think. And okay, but now let's talk about, so that's just like a better way to apply for jobs, and I think that will probably help you. If you're not getting any kind of responses, there's probably something wrong there, which I think that would help you. The next thing is, you shouldn't be just applying for jobs either, right? You shouldn't just be going to a job search site, finding jobs that match your criteria and applying. I mean, maybe that's part of your strategy, but in order to really secure a good job, you need to be doing the networking and the branding. It's a little bit late for both of those things, right? If you're looking for a job now, but the best time to plant a tree other than 20 years ago is now. So start now, get the blog up, get some branding going. Like I said, if you want to check out my How to Market Yourself as a Software Developer course, that will certainly help you to figure out how to build a personal brand and network and get things coming to you. But you got to start doing it now, and that's really going to help you. You got to start thinking of it this way, right? The best jobs that you're going to get, and the best way to get a job, is going to come from you actually talking to people and having an in to the company, right? So start thinking about this. Start thinking outside the box in your job search. Don't just think about submitting resumes, right? That's a hard way. Most resumes don't get past the first step. What you want to do is you want to look for companies specifically, maybe that ones that had the jobs recs out, and you want to look for developers that work for those companies, or people that you can connect with, and maybe in your local area. Like, there's a lot of ways. I don't know, you got to think outside the box here and see and make your goal this, right? Instead of me giving you specific strategies on how to do this, because there's tons of them, let's talk about doing this. Your goal is to connect with people that would be able to give you a referral for the kind of job that you would like, right? How can you best do this? How can you best get noticed, make connections with these people, offer them some kind of value so that they will recommend you, right? And so that you feel like you could ask even to say, hey, would you recommend me? And then, because if you come in through a personal referral, you've automatically passed 2 levels of filtering probably in the process of a job search. This is really, really critical. And a lot of the best jobs that are out there don't even get advertised. They know someone, and if you can be that person that someone knows, that's going to help you a lot. So I think that's really what I would recommend. That's critical. You're already doing some of the right things. Keep on doing the right things that you're doing. Keep on putting out apps and whatnot. You know, figure out what is your weakness. What is the worst weakness? Like I said, if you're not even getting the interviews, you're not even getting the phone screens, then, you know, make sure that you're applying quality, right? But then increase quantity as well. So maybe you're not applying for enough jobs, right? It's a numbers game, but just don't throw out, don't throw out 500 resumes that don't mean anything. Like do numbers, but also do quality at the same time. And it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of effort. And start building that network, do that kind of stuff. And that's what's going to help you. That's what's going to get your foot in the door. Because it only takes one. It only takes one job, one right connection, one right person to meet that will help you. So anyway, thank you for the question, Anthony. I think that is an excellent question, a difficult problem. And, I try to give you the best advice without knowing too much about you. But I feel like this will help you to get past that next stage. And interviews is a whole nother thing. So anyway, if you like this video, let me ask you a quick favor here. Just hit the subscribe button so that you'll get more videos like this. Really, it's a favor for you, not one for me. And if you want to join the community, if you want to talk to people, have these kind of discussions, I've got a perfect Facebook group where you can say, this is what I've done. Can you help me? And maybe even make some connections to find a job. Go check out the Patreon campaign, and for a very small amount of being a patron, you can get access to all that stuff. So anyway, hopefully you liked the video, and if you have some suggestions for Anthony, leave a comment below. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.